Hey there, everybody. Today we're going to do a little bit of a random live stream. I'm doing some maintenance on the Sklar here. And I don't know if you guys do this, but usually when it's time to add more sealant to my tires, I just pour the sealant in without removing the old dried gunky stuff. And today I had a video idea of actually pulling out the dried sealant. I've got a big bunch of it over here and weighing it just to see what the difference is. And since I'm going to be spending at least a good 40 minutes in here just peeling sealant off, I thought I would do a random live stream. I'm probably not going to keep this up. I'll take it down when it's done, maybe use some of the footage for the final video. But if you guys have any questions as I peel sealant from the tire, let me know. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, I'll take them and we can talk bikes. I'll show you what I've got here. This is Soma Casdero. I think the last time I peeled sealant off of this was exactly never. I don't know. Do you guys actually take out the old sealant before you put in new stuff? Let me know. But other than that, it's strangely satisfying. I don't know if you can. It's like peeling glue off of your hands as a kid, you know? Let's see. We've got 28 people in the chat. This is what I've pulled out so far. Any guesses as to how much dried sealant is in the tire? I'm wondering if it'll weigh about the same as a inner tube, which would be kind of interesting. Let's see. We've got mass produce. Good morning. Cam T, weigh that at the end. Yeah. So my methodology for this is I actually weighed the tire without touching it, and it came out to about 500 grams exactly, so 1.1 pounds. What the heck is this thing? Oh, okay, so that's the tire and the dried sealant, and I'm going to weigh the whole thing again, the whole tire, and see what the difference is. I think I can, that's the extent of my English major math right there. What's interesting is, what I found so far, is that the sealant tends to collect at the bead, right? Which is what you'd expect, because it's going to try to seal that part. And it also collects down the middle. Yeah. So John Choplick says it can't be as heavy as normal rubber tube. Maybe those new plastic ones that I can never remember. Yeah, TPUs. Who here has used TPUs? Because I'm working on another video where on one of my bikes I actually switched to TPUs, and I've been using the Rene Urs ones. And I've had 2 flats on it for about 10 months, which is pretty good, and also repaired it. And the repairs have actually been holding up pretty good. So yeah, I'm actually a fan of the Rene Urs stuff. Okay, so someone else admits, I just add sealant and continue more after a while, yeah. Hey there, Kevin. I'm shooting this on the action camera, and it's a little bit of a distance from the computer, so let me try to embiggen the comments here. Okay, all right. So, yeah, guess how much dried sealant is going to accrue. This is what we've got so far. I'm just going to put it here on my desk, which is kind of gross. So Bill says, I love TPU, light, simple, and can be fixed. And he's using the Ride Now TPUs. Yeah, I've not experimented with those. I think those are the Amazon ones. Ben says, sealant in my tubes is always too dirty, fragmented, and crusty to peel off. Maybe I don't use enough. I think it also depends on the type of sealant. This is kind of a mishmash of orange and the stands. And those are my two favorite sealants. Honestly, I like orange best. For me, stands has like this weird like fish-like smell. I guess it's the smell of latex, which is just kind of gross. Yeah. So what I'm finding is like at least the sealant's pooling down the center, and yeah. So user says, I've used TPUs or Tubeless for the past 3 years on a fixed gear, no issues so far. Yeah, I'm generally a fan of TPUs, but they're just so dang expensive. I mean, I think like the Reneers ones are $30 per TPU. Full disclosure, they did send to the channel for me to review with the patch kit, so I appreciate that, because they're basically like the cost of a tire, right? So if you go full Reneers, you're looking at $90 for at least $90 for a tire, and then 30 for the TPU. And don't get me wrong, it's an awesome combination. It's what I have on the Soma, but I remember when you could get a Pastello for like $25 and you were good to go. So John says, I only really run tubeless on my mountain bike. Currently building my first alt bike. Maybe when I replace wheels, I'll go tubeless on that too. Haven't given into chain wax, do the lazy. Yeah, I like chain waxing. I don't think it's for everyone. Man, do you guys have any tricks to get sealant off? I feel like this is one of the reasons why I just kind of keep pouring new sealant over bad, just because, it's a pain in the butt. This is something I don't really talk about, but you guys get to witness in real time. So this is what I've been in it for, I don't know, 15 minutes, and I'm not even halfway around the tire. Let's see. Sean says, I've had pretty good luck with cheap TPU tubes off AliExpress. Chris says, vintage Reneers bike for €2,000, just imagine, right? Love one of those. John says, there has to be a solvent. Yeah, I know. You'd think. I've seen people use a drill with some kind of buffing bit. But that could go wrong very quickly. Here's the stack so far from from one tire. Geez. Thanks for hanging out, by the way. I know this isn't like the most exciting live stream. I'm not like riding my bike or anything, but I figured I would kill the time creatively. So CamT says, I just ordered stuff to wax my chains. Very excited. What did you end up with? Did you hop on the Silka bandwagon? Which I'm a big fan of, by the way. Don't get me wrong. God dang. So what's happening is, there's all the dried sealant that's coagulated down the center, and it's not coming up as easily, but that's the part I want out, because that would probably, that'd be the heaviest pool of sealant in here. Where'd my pick go? Anyways, Arsenic's photography. Decent luck with sealant filled with butyl tubes on my gravel bike. Yeah, it does require higher tire pressures though to keep the punctures to a minimum. You know, I did a video on that, and I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like regular sealant maybe doesn't bond with the butyl as well, and you have to use like a tire specific like slime sealant. Man, this is a pain in the butt. Okay, there's got to be a faster way here. Something to scrape it with. Maybe I'll use one of my palette knives and try to get under there. Okay, let's try this. Okay, here's the hot sealant peeling action here. That's totally not going to work. Other things I've tried, people said an eraser will like lift it up. I don't think I have the right eraser for the job though, because it's not doing diddly. Well, kind of. I don't know. Well, that kind of helped. I don't know. Maybe this eraser's fine. Let's see. Not really. I think what's happening is it's getting it warm, and that's helping it release a little bit, but it's not actually getting it up. So Cam says, Silica wax warmer. Yes, it's a great system. But opted for double wax warmer off of Amazon, about half the price and twice the usefulness. I did get my wax stripper and lube from Silica. Yeah, I'm a fan of the Silica stuff, and you can get a similar wax warmer that they sell, but it's for like leg wax for a lot cheaper. I've not tried it personally. I don't know if they do anything special to the temperature control. Oh, what a pain in the butt. Okay, I know. Super exciting, right? Is this good content? Okay, hair dryer. Hair dryer might work. I don't actually have one near me. Man, I was doing so good and then just kind of hit a wall. Let's try the other side. Maybe this will come out. I mean, it is strangely satisfying when you get a big part of it to come off. Off topic. That bike behind you reminds me of the Rufus Stone by Rune. Similar color. What do I think about those bikes? Yeah, I'm familiar with Rune. Very small brand out of the UK. I've not ridden one. I think I looked briefly at the GeoChart, and from what I recall, it's kind of a longer chainstay, but neutral front handling bike. I could be wrong. So to me, it would be probably similar-ish to like a Hillborn, but with disc brakes. Okay, there's a good piece. And if you can hear the honking outside, but living in Spain, yeah, taking some adjustment, getting back used to living in an apartment in the city. I do miss my American-sized garage on occasion. So Ben says, rubbing in one direction with the palm of your hand to create a little heat and friction, maybe. And Sean says, just remember, you're doing the sealant removal for science. Yes, that's... I figured if I'm going to spend like an hour doing this, I might as well share the pain of boredom with you guys. Let's give the eraser one more go, just to heat things up here. Man, they're really laying it on the horn out there. That's very... there it is. Maybe that's a trick. Maybe I just got to heat it up a little bit with the eraser and it'll and I'll give. Dave says, I've always removed sealant with hot water and a cloth. Huh. Is that while the sealant is damp? Or would that still work after it's caked up like this? Because I don't see how hot water and a cloth would get this off. Could be wrong though. Okay, Raul Martinez, buenas tardes. Sí, buenas tardes, ¿qué tal? All right. Okay, so I've been at this for about 25 minutes. This is the progress so far. I'd say about halfway around the tire. I've cleared out most of the bead, and I'm just been attacking the center part. I thought I would give it away, just out of curiosity. Initial weigh-in with the tire and the sealant was 500 grams on the dot. So this says 0.45 kilograms. So was that 50 grams of sealant? I guess. I mean, this is what we got. Let's see. Yeah, Matt Galoff. Life is really too short. It is too short. This is not my favorite thing to do. Bill says, sealant for mountain bikes only. Everything else gets a Ride Now TPU for $10 each. Oh, okay. I've not tried the Ride Now TPUs. Anyone else have experience? I wonder if we can get those in Spain, or if that's like a US only thing. I gotta tell you, the product selection here isn't my favorite. Like, they carry lots of, kind of the big name brand stuff, but nothing too exciting. So that's why, like, a bike shop like La Chouette in Paris is really cool, because they are carrying more niche products beyond mainstream. Man, this is such a pain in the butt. You can use a car decal removing wheel and a drill. I could. I do not have a drill or a car decal removing wheel, however, so I'm stuck with my fingers and whatever random tools are laying around. I thought I had it. Where's my pick? Okay. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna try using the awl to dig out under it. Don't worry, I'm not gonna puncture the tire. And if I do, that's what the sealant's for. Okay. Yeah, that's not working. Maybe the heat from the racer thing is the trick. It's not so much that it's lifting it up, but it's generating friction. Kind of. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not convinced. Rubberize working gloves and rub your fingers. Aha. Don't have rubberized working gloves. I've got latex gloves, but they would definitely not hold up to any kind of friction here. Okay. Bill says, thanks again for sharing interesting content. Have a great day. Nice seeing you. Sorry, this is Not the most exciting thing, but it's keeping me entertained. Okay, I'm going to try the all again. Try to get under there. No. Okay. So while I'm doing this, we can talk about other things. What have you guys been thinking about the new hotness series? Hold on, my computer just went screensaver mode. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying that. Come on. It's really stubborn. Bill says, if you have any paint drying your apartment, we'd love to see that too. Actually, this is paint and it's drying in my apartment. I've been working on portraits. Okay, it's oil paint. It's not wall paint. It's just a fun challenge. Okay, it's kind of coming out. Yeah, Sean says it's the ASMR side of Pathless Pal today. Yeah, I was gonna do something like, title it something like Tubeless Tire Sealant ASMR. Okay, Cam T says, loving the new hotness. Recently took a break from Instagram and it's nice that you're keeping me informed on bike news. Yes, I'm trolling through all the brain rot and turning it into a nice digest for you all. It is a little sad that there's kind of an exodus on Instagram and it's just less fun than it used to be. You know, if we could leave, I'd probably consider it, but you know, for the work that we do, and for keeping track of like the alti-bikey scene, Instagram is still kind of the place to be. So whether we like it or not. Maybe try a wider plastic prior like the ones used for opening phones. Less chance to puncture. Yeah, it could work. I don't have one of those either. I think there is something to the friction. I found that it seems to either agitate it loose or softens it up just enough. So Sean, also enjoying the new hotness. Well, thanks for watching. Yeah, I've been trying to, it's actually something I've wanted to do for a while, like kind of a counterpoint to GCN Tech that focuses on, you know, kind of not racing things. Just because I feel like there's lots of small makers doing interesting things that don't get, you know, any attention or love. Okay, so Matt says, easy fix, run tubes. Yeah, this is a part of the tubeless that they don't really tell you about. You know, it's not like it just evaporates and goes into the ether. I'm gonna have a big pile of latex to dispose of after. I'm sure that's wonderful for the environment. So. What else? I don't know if you guys know this, but on the Sklar here, I put on a carbon fork, trying something different. It's been a long time since I've put a carbon fork on a personal bike, but it's also just see what's out there. The fork's by the brand called Sato. Patrick Gallagher says, just tuned in. Please tell me that this isn't necessary. Well, technically, you don't have to do this, and clearly, I've not been doing this for about 2 years. But if you want to see what about 2 years worth of sealant looks like, this is it. So you could bypass this step and constantly pour new sealant in there, but your tire's also going to get heavier. Okay. So if you're just tuning in, this live stream is as exciting as it looks. I am trying to do the best practice of removing sealant. And I've found with the tools I have, which are mainly my fingers, that what seems to be the most effective is rubbing it a little bit, generating some heat, and it kind of loosens the hold so I can get bigger clumps off. So, and it is satisfying when you grab onto a big one. Let's see, Josh says, put the new hotness logo in the thumbnail. I like the quick hits format, but the thumbnail usually focuses on the topic. Yeah, I will do that in the future. I mean, the reason why anything is labeled the way it is because of the algorithm. You know, doing very like literal titles, you know, people aren't going to click through, and it's just going to be a waste of time. So that's what that is. But yeah, I agree. I will put the new hotness in the lower corner, so at least it's some kind of visual indicator of what you're going to get. Oh, that's satisfying. What's that? Oh yeah. Why did that part come out so easily? Okay. Home stretch, guys. For this tire, at least. I've got one more. And it's only taken 35 minutes. Matt Land asks, what is a new hotness? New hotness is a weekly digest of all things alternative cycling. So kind of think of it as like the GCN Tech Tuesday update, but for a completely different side of cycling. So I try to find interesting new product drops, events, and I give you guys suggestions of YouTube channels to follow that are small and doing interesting things and could use a signal boost. So that is the new hotness. Okay. I wonder, Sean says, I wonder if adding some sealant before trying to remove sealant would soften the existing sealant. No, it would just make a bigger mess. It's actually one reason why I waited specifically for this to dry out pretty good, because I didn't want to have to deal with mopping up any residual sealant. So I can usually tell when the sealant's pretty dry, is like it's starting to go flat overnight. Yeah, I'd rather do this, I guess, than have to mop up a bunch of wet sealant and deal with that also. Okay. So I gotta say, this is more of a pain in the butt than waxing your chain. So if you're down with tubeless and think chain waxing is a pain in the butt, let me tell you, I could have waxed like 4 chains in the same amount of time. Let's see. Raul asks, you can start your own recycled tire brand with all that dry sealant. Yeah, and Second Life tire sealant tires. John asks, how long have I been adding sealant to these tires? What's the amount of sealant I'm sealant that you're pulling output in the context of the life of the tire? Okay, that's a good question. This is probably, these tires have been on this bike since Montana, since I built it up. So I'm guessing this is at least 2.5 years worth of sealant. Which I guess when you look at it in terms of that time frame, it's actually not too bad. I thought there'd be a lot more. But Morgan says, never let latex-based sealant dry. Happened to me once. Rubber cement eraser can help a lot. Yeah, I tried various erasers and I don't have the right one, apparently. Okay, this part's getting a little stubborn. So friction. Merrick says, just don't remove it. Bill Smith asks, are we going to go to the Philly Bike Expo? No. Love to. Flights from Europe are expensive. And it's just, that's a long flight. We're going to probably come back for Maid. But yeah. Yeah, if you're going to Philly Bike Expo, let everyone know I say hi. And that Stephen Blinky still owes me for my cargo bike. So. Okay, almost there. So we're about there. I'm not going to worry too much about the stuff on the sides, but I do want to get the center part out. John says, that makes sense. How much sealant do you add? How often in the last few years? Also, Google says try iso alcohol. Yeah, I don't have any of that either. I would say I've probably put sealant in these tires at least once a quarter, and I don't measure it out. I just pour it in until I feel like it's a nice pool that it'll plug up a hole. So not very scientific, I know. Okay, almost there. I'm going to use the eraser one more time here. And almost there. Gets really tacky down the middle. I think after I get the center part out, I'm going to do another weigh-in and we'll see where we're at. Let's see. Bill says, you used to have to go to PBS for this kind of content, right? Okay, come on. All right, maybe I should just call it good here, at least for this tire. If you guys are enjoying this absolutely like riveting original content, don't forget to like and subscribe for more latex peeling action in the future. Michael says, that doesn't look too fun. It's actually, you know, if you're in the right mindset, it can be very meditative to do this. I don't know if I'm quite there, but actually a little bit surprised at how easy some of it has come out. You can definitely see how the sealant pools. Like it'll do like a slight coating on the sidewall, and then the vast majority of it just pulls down the center tread. This part's actually fun. Like when it comes out really easily like this. I don't know if it was just me, but when I was a kid during art class, I'd put Elmer's glue in my hands and wait until it kind of got tacky and then peeled it up. And this is similar vibes. Hachi4 says rubber coated gardening gloves. Yeah, I should pick a pair of those up. I don't have any with me. I've got latex gloves I used for oil painting, but no rubber gloves. Yeah, so Sean says, if you see GCN doing a sealant removal piece in the future, right? I will say, you know, one trend that I have been a big fan of for the last couple of years that I feel like is starting to get some traction now in the mainstream, even sites like Escape Collective, is wide footbox cycling shoes. There's been a couple recent spate of them. They just did a podcast on the wide or barefoot trend creeping into cycling. I think it's made sense. I've made several videos as far back as like 4 or 5 years ago, and it's interesting that, you know, Escape Collective is talking about it now. I'm sure GSAN will pick it up in another year after it's not cutting edge anymore. Okay. Let's see. Almost there. Okay, guys. I think I'm going to weigh it. There's a bunch of latex on the ground. There's a bunch on my desk. Can you guys guess how much sealant has accrued in a tire over 2 years without pulling out any, without doing this, basically? I don't know why I didn't do this more often, because it's so absolutely riveting. Hachi says, seems cheaper just to buy new tires. Not when they're Rene Earth tires, man. Those are like $90 tires. Yeah, time is money. No, I don't think I've used up $180 worth of my time quite yet. So. Plus, if I just bought new tires, there wouldn't be this riveting content online. Okay, let's see your guesses. Sean says 70 grams. What is your guess for 2 years worth of dried stands or orange seal sealant in a 650B by 48 millimeter tire? Raoul says 150 grams. Vincent says, loves drawings in the back. Yeah, I've been getting into charcoal. I just picked up some charcoal pencils yesterday and I've been practicing portraits. And that image is of the actress Rebecca Ferguson as the mom in Dune. So she wears a shawl over her head. Anyways, it's nicely lit reference photo. Okay. Let's see. Cam said, I originally guessed 200 grams, and now I know and wrong. And I know I'm wrong unless I'm right. I don't know. So we're going to figure out the amount of sealant using MAS. Any MAS majors in the chat? When I weighed the tire originally with the dried sealant, it came out to 500 grams. Just to show you guys how far we've gone. This is about 2 years. Okay. All right. So should I weigh it? What do you guys think? Thumbs up? Thumbs up, I should weigh it, or thumbs down, I should keep going. Michael says that tire looks very soft. Yes, it is very supple, actually. That's why I love it. It's the Soma Casdero. It's a great rolling tire. High center ridge, some side knobs, 50 millimeters wide. Before 50 millimeters was cool. Okay, getting thumbs up here. Oh, Jonas says, keep going. Okay, we know who the sadist in the chat is. I'll go on for a little bit, just because this part is strangely gratifying. All right. So Cam says that the tire weighs 540 grams. It's interesting. Must have worn out some rubber. Okay. I think this is a good spot to stop. I've cleared out this main channel where a lot of the sealant collects, except for this part. Let's work at this part a little bit. Okay. All right. Okay, who's going to do the MAS here? Because I'm an English major and I'm on camera and I'm not going to do MAS very good. Robin Diaz, is this what tubeless life is like? Yep. This is the side of tubeless that they don't tell you about. You know, when you put the sealant in there, it just doesn't turn into like angel tears and evaporates without leaving a residue or something. Gets stuck. And on occasion, every 2 years, okay. All right. Calculator in hand. All right, Cam, we're relying on your calculator. So again, the tire is a Soma Casdero 650B by 50. 2 years worth of sealant, and it weighed in at 500 grams. Just to give you guys a frame of reference, this is roughly some of what I pulled out. I'd say maybe about half a tire's worth. The rest is on the ground. I'm not going to scoop it up, but we're going to do some deductive reasoning here. Okay. Guess I should do it in kilograms since I'm this side of the pond here. Okay, That's not right. Tar. That's also not right. It's not 10 grams. Let's see. Only the finest luggage scales on Path Less Pedaled. Is that YouTube money? Okay. Okay, in pounds, 1.2 pounds. In kilograms, This can't be right because it says it's 0.55 and it was 0.5 when I started, so it couldn't have gained, couldn't have gained weight in this process. So hold on. I mean, this is like a $10 scale. All right. Tarring it with no weight. It's set to 0. Maybe I weighed it wrong when I started because now it's heavier after taking the sealant off. That's so disappointing. Maybe I should get like a broom and sweep everything up. I'm gonna try one more time. Sorry, guys. And this is what you get when you have an English major in charge of the science. Yeah, I think I got the initial weight wrong because now it says 0.5. I think what I'm going to do is sweep this up and then put it on my coffee scale. How's that sound? Just because like I have a hard time believing that it got heavier after doing this. Yeah. Womp womp, I know. Okay, we'll try it one more time. Let's try it one more time. I don't know what's up. I swear I weighed it correctly the first time. The scale just wants to make a fool of me. Okay. No, it's just, it says like nothing has changed, which I find hard to believe. So, okay. Take this off the stand real quick. So what we got? There and there. And this is the bike. There's other tire. First, let's make coffee. Don't yet? Yeah, I still have another tire to do. Should I keep doing this? Let me know. What should I do here? How about I take the tire of this, and although it's not the identical tire or same exact tire, it will give me, it'll give us another starting point. And this is why I'm an English major, for sure, 100%. Okay. Okay. If you guys are curious, the wheels are the Atara by Logos. This is the component brand of the bike brand Thesis. So let's take it off. I love these valves, by the way. These are the reserve valves, and yes, they are expensive, but I find that they are worth it. Just because you can stick an air compressor directly on here and seat the tire without having to remove the core. Okay. Popping this off. Hopefully this tire is just as dry as the other one. Lever. Yep. Okay, it's not going to be a one-to-one, but it'll give us a vague starting point. I'm going to assume that I've refilled this rear tire at the same rate as the front. The tires are both 2 years old. Flip it inside out here. And it did the same thing as the other tire. So like all the sealant pooled down the center and on the bead. Come on, you can do this. All right. The same thing. I would say that there was probably a little bit more sealant down the center of the other tire. Just looking at it visually. Okay, let's weigh this one. This is the untouched tire. I think the scale is broken, guys. This says it's 0.8 pounds. Let's change units. Okay, so this is 0.55. 0.55 kilograms. Let's do that one more time. 0.5. That's just too big of a fluctuation. 0.5. .55. Okay. So, 0.55 kilograms for the untouched 2-year tires, two-year-old tire with sealant, and 0.5. Let's weigh this one more time. What's aggravating about this scale is like you have like a time limit before it locks in the value. Okay, and this is so this is saying 0.5, and this is 0.55. So what is that? 50 grams. DSA says, not sure what weighing even proves. Liquid sealant will weigh different than dried up sealant as the moisture. Yeah, what it proves, smarty pants, is how much residual sealant you have in your tire as you add more sealant if you don't remove it. The thought being like if you just keep adding sealant for 5 years, then that's roughly 50 grams you're adding to the tire every 2 years is what it proves. Is that hard? So let's see. Bill Smith says, "Will I have to repeat the thing in the 2 years?" Maybe. Okay. So I think what I am going to do is get the coffee scale. Actually, so hold on, don't leave. I'm going to get the coffee scale. Okay. Coffee scale. This I know how to use for sure because I use it every morning, and it's a little bit nicer than the Amazon special luggage scale. So what I'm going to do is gather gather the sealant. How should I do this? Gonna use this to put it on. Tar. Okay. This is the first, this is like half a tire's worth. Okay. And let me get my broom real quick. Okay. For the science. For the science. Okay. So this might be a measurement of sealant and some random dust on the workshop floor. So again, English major. I still can't believe that comment. What does this prove? Wet sealant versus dry sealant. It proves that the dry sealant adds up in your tire, buddy. Okay. Oh. Need something to set this on. Okay, we're tarred. Ready to do some weighing. I'm using the DJI Action 5, by the way, for this whole stream, which is kind of interesting. What's neat about it is it's really small. I can take it off, move it around. Okay. The scale, again, I've got like a limited time before it locks in the value, so I have to gather up all the sealant. Okay. What are your final guesses here? All right. No new guesses. The coffee scale is tarred. You've got a little red plate there, so it doesn't. And then as much of the dried sealant. Oh no, shit. Okay. What are your guesses? Cam says 75 grams. Vincent says 30 grams. Come on, let's have two more guesses before I do the big reveal here. Hachi says 25 grams. Bobby 65 grams. So this is what you're guessing, guys. 2 years worth of sealant in one tire. What do we got here? We'll move the camera there. So the scale says a hair under 41 grams. Yeah, that looks. This looks a lot more than 40 grams, but I mean, the scale is pretty accurate, so I have a tendency to believe it. So there you go. 2 years worth of sealant weighs, at least the way I put it, is 40 grams. Okay. Oh. So who got closest? Yeah, pedal driven, 1 pound, not quite. Oh, it's slow, 80 grams, nope. Yeah, John, 48 grams was pretty good. So, yeah, that's actually, I mean, looking at the pile, I would have thought it would have been at least 50 grams, if not like 100 grams. That would have been my initial impression. Yeah. What does a TPU weigh? Just out of curiosity. I don't know if I can. I was going to use a luggage scale, but we now know that the $10 luggage scale on Amazon is not to be relied upon for life or death matters. I'm curious what TPU versus 2 years worth of sealant. Which weighs more? Tarring it. So, any guesses to what the TPU tube weighs? Is it more or less than the sealant? So this is a Rene Urs TPU, and it's designed for 700 by, I think, 35 to 45. So it's like the 700 gravel tire one. Jonas, you have to deduct the weight of the valve. Nope. Valve does not come off on the Rene Urs ones. So it's part and parcel of the tube. But that is true. Like if I were to do apples to apples of, okay, I see what you're saying, but I can't remove the valve off of the TPU tube, and I don't know what it weighs. So that weighs 47 grams. So about par, actually, which is kind of surprising. So that's interesting. One can make the argument, yeah. So this weighs about the same amount as 2 years of residual sealant, potentially on the tire. Okay. John says not on par for costs. Well, let's see. I don't know. Like sealant here is really expensive. I think this cost me in Spain. This is like $60 or $50 worth of sealant. Oh, this one's coming out way easier. Interesting. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a separate pile of the rear and see if there's a difference. Wow, this is like coming off like gangbusters. Check this out. It's so satisfying when that happens. So Sean, at least the tube is easier to remove. It is so much easier to remove. The reason it's out of a bike is because I got a puncture on the road the other day, and just instead of repairing it, swapped in a new tube. And yeah, it's kind of a pain in the butt that there was a flat, but at the same time, I was like, man, this is so nice. I don't have to worry about getting sealant all over my hands, my clothes. Okay, I jinxed myself just when I thought this was going to be the easy one. it's interesting to see, like you get like this thick ribbon around the bead. It always looks like way heavier than you think, but. Okay. So I'm starting a new sealant pile. I'm going to weigh this rear one directly on the coffee scale, just so we can bypass the shenanigans we had with the other one. How long before this purple clamper started fading? Can't decide between purple or polished. I don't know. Like I've had those for 2 years. They're definitely like a little less saturated than when it started. I think like the original color was closer to the seat post. Seat post is younger than the clampers. I'd say you get about a year before it starts to lose some of its saturation. So if if that bothers you, I just get the silver or the polished, because I think that never goes out of style. Yeah, I've never seen, the last tire, the sealant didn't peel off the tire like this. You get this like big ropey piece on the side, and then have all the gross stuff in the middle to force off. Okay, maybe I'll get lucky with this tire and it'll be a lot easier. But what are your guys' favorite sealant? I'm more of an orange sealant kind of person. I've tried others, but I've had the best luck with the orange stuff. Like I tried the first batch of the Silca, and it was weird. Like it balled up. I popped open the tire one day, and the carbon fiber filaments had turned into little beads and was like literally rolling around inside the tire. I was like, that's not right. So we got a vote for stands. Yeah, the new Silca injectable stuff does look interesting. Like the problem before is like the carbon fiber bits would plug up any injector or even the valve core, or it would ball up like in my case. I feel like they've been working on it, or they've had to work on it. Okay, give you more. This is my sealant pile. Super exciting. So So Slow went from muck off to milk it. I've not tried any of those. Do you like them? Have you tried the orange? This is totally unsponsored, by the way. Yeah, I'm a little bit shy of the Silca stuff after having that weird experience. And I had emailed them when it happened. I thought that maybe it's because of the climate, because we were living in Montana at the time, and it was, it was getting down to like -20 in the garage. So I didn't know if extreme cold was doing that. and it kind of had no response at the time. So this one's actually coming out a lot easier. I suspect that for whatever reason, haven't replenished the rear as much as the front, because the center pool isn't as thick with sealant here. But what else is everybody up to? Anything I should add for the new hotness this coming week? Anything I missed that you guys are stoked about? Yeah, I'm surprised how easy this one's coming off. Okay. And now we're getting to this stuff. Patrick says, they said if anyone who has a puncture using their sealant at Unbound gets 500. Wow. It's a pretty bold claim. Oh, this is amazing. This never happens. This is like the sealant equivalent of getting a tailwind. Okay, I spoke too soon. But still, this one, that's so weird. Why would this tire like peel off a lot easier? Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on the bead here. Maybe if I tack it from the side. Okay. All right, this part's a little stubborn. We'll have to get some rubber work gloves apparently, because there is something about the friction and the heat that loosens it up. All right. So Jonas, hey Jonas, yeah, Browse Cycles folding cargo bike. I've been trying to get a hold of them to do something. Them and the folks over at Now, if you're familiar with them, they do the titanium. Wow, this is amazing. Again, never happens. The Now adventure, the ATBs that they're doing. I'm curious about what the plan is for Brow, if that's like the one prototype they have, or they're trying to go into production. See, tubeless isn't so bad when it comes off like this. The other tire just like sucked. Is it because of how I'm pulling it? If you pull it a certain way, it... Interesting. Yeah, I'm going through this tire like twice as fast as the other. There's still some stuff on the bead here. Yeah, but thanks for the reminder about Brow. I think I will put them in. And oh, interesting. There's a, you guys can see it. There's a little goat head up in here. So the sealant did its job. And when all right, that's cool. So there you go, sealant to work. What else? I built up the Black Snow EDC Mark II, a kind of funky mini cargo bike, and super fun. Looks really cool. I did run into a couple of build issues. Talk to the camera for a second. One of them is the cargo rack. The way it attaches to the frame is via the head tube on 4 bolts, and where the eyelets that were drilled onto the rack didn't quite line up, so I had to buy a file set and big in the holes a little bit to make it work. And then the headset that they sent was incomplete. So the shop installed it and it came back just not working good. So I ended up just ordering some headset tools and a different headset and just dealing with it myself instead of having the shop do it. Okay. So this is coming together a lot quicker than the other one. And also on this bike behind me, I don't know if you guys can see it, but on the fork here, I've got the new WizardWorks light mount that I'm testing out. Interesting design. You know, it's if you have like a cargo bag or something, it tends to block where a light would be. So it moves it to the fork, offsets it a little bit, and positions it a little bit higher than like a Geno mount, so it doesn't cast as much of a shadow on the wheel. The one thing is that you do have to Loctite the bolts, otherwise they could, you know, vibrate and then rotate the entire mount. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But all right. So Jonas, I think you're from Valencia. Where is everyone else from? Anyone else here in Europe? Or I know we had a bunch of US folks. If you're just joining, we're doing the riveting task of removing dried sealant. Alex asks, is this a Zealous watch? No, it's a Marathon. It's their Arctic dial, their first version of it, 39 millimeters, so slightly smaller watch. Black Forest, Germany in your clone. Different Jonas. I thought you were the Jonas in Valencia, but okay. Sacramento, Berlin, nice. North Carolina, Finland, Ventura, California. Hey, haven't seen McGow jobs in forever. I missed the coffee outsides in the Discord. Might have to get that going again. How are things in Ventura, man? Dresden, Edmonton, nice. Malaga, Costa del Sol. Buenas, where do you live in Spain? Ahora vivimos en Girona. So northern part of Spain, Catalonian region. It's funny, it's like, you know, I'd heard about, or we were familiar with the whole kind of sentiment of Catalonia versus Spain prior to moving here, and got a taste of it when we first visited. But this part is very different feeling from other parts of Spain that we've been to, like down in Granada and Andalusia. which feels more traditionally, I guess, Spanish for lack of better words. But still pretty cool. Fabulous Las Vegas. All right. And Scott is in Indiana. I gotta say, I do not miss Montana winters. I think every morning I'll check the temperature in Missoula just to remind me what we're missing. Okay. And attack speed from Los Angeles. Which part of LA? I grew up in Los Angeles. Went to high school in Burbank and college at UCLA. So downtown, nice. I think we'll probably go back to the LA area, Portland, and Missoula in August when we come back for Made and do some filming there. But okay, getting close, guys. So this is a pile of dried sealant. And curious, I suspect that this is going to weigh less than what came out of the front tire for some reason. Tax speed, love your recent travel. Thanks. We've got another travel video on our recent trip down to, or another trip down to Granada. And we rode a portion of the Badlands route through like the town of Gore in Spain. And it's pretty cool. Like it looked like we were in Eastern Oregon, in the Dakotas, super remote. Apparently, like in that part of Spain, in the Garaffi Desert, there's all these old Western movie sets. And they filmed a lot of like Clint Eastwood movies there, or the spaghetti westerns, which apparently are called spaghetti westerns because a lot of the directors were Italian. Which I thought was interesting. Okay, almost there. I don't think I would have stuck to peeling as much as I have if it weren't for the live stream. I feel like compelled to do a halfway decent job. Otherwise, I would have buckled and just poured some new sealant in. But trying to make that riveting content. It's kind of like the reverse of watching paint to dry, right? It's peeling paint off the walls. Captain Henry asks, how is the cost of living? Depends on which part of Spain. Catalonia is actually fairly expensive in terms of Spain. I'd say it's actually par to parts of the US, especially in the city of Barcelona. But there are other kind of niceties like the food's a lot more affordable. The quality of the food's a lot better, like the produce. You can get by without a car. So, I mean, it's not as convenient if you want to travel to the remote places, but getting around the city or going between cities is pretty easy. Nice. Like for example, we took the train to Paris, straight from Girona. You know, got up at like 8 in the morning, had breakfast, walked down to the train station, and I missed this big ropey part. And then the train to Paris from here is like 6 hours. It's, it's chill, it's relaxing, goes way faster than any US train. So got in about like 4 late afternoon. We're completely different country, completely different vibe than here. Yeah, Scott, the tomatoes in Spain are next level. Like we were not big tomato fans prior to moving here, but they put tomatoes on everything. On their bread, clearly on salads, appetizers, and they are amazing, and they're affordable if you buy them at the market. That's one thing I didn't realize is like how much flavor, the flavor difference between produce in the US and Spain. Like a good example is bananas. Like in the bananas that we get in the States, granted they're not all grown in the States or imported, kind of like a one-note flavor, like just sweet. But here, if you get a banana from, say, the Canary Islands, it's a little bit more complex, a little bit starchier, just a little bit more depth to them. And that's just like a friggin' banana. Buenos Aires, why do you have to do this? Well, supposedly it's good practice to remove old sealant before just pouring in new sealant, just because over time, it adds weight to the tire. I don't know, might affect the ride quality, who knows? But this was from the front tire, and it only weighed like 40 grams, so it wasn't like a huge thing. So Mark asks, are we here long term? We're going to be here as long as they'll let us. Right now, our visa is good for another 2 years, and then we'll have the option to renew. And then we would have been in the country for 5 years. And I think there's a path to like a permanent residency at that point. So Bono says, you got the Gavinel shifters. Yeah, those are awesome shifters. I like the new ones that they came out with that work with the Uno shifter. Haven't tried it in person, but they do good stuff. It's been hard to tell if they're in business or not because their products have been out of stock, and I know people that try to email them and they haven't been super responsive. So, all right, almost there. So that's the new pile of sealant. Let's see. I think it's pretty good. I'm just gonna check the bead. Okay. That bead's looking good. Yeah, Hachi, the other one came out a lot slower. This one, I don't know what the difference is. This one totally came off a lot quicker. I feel like it's pretty good. I mean, I could get like super anal and do this, but let's get like a little bit more off. Maybe this will just, it's fun when it peels off really easily, All right. Pink erasers, short work of little bits that won't release. Yeah, I tried not a pink eraser, but an eraser, a couple of erasers. And it helped a little bit. I think what's really doing it is the heat from the friction. And that's why gloves seem to work. Michael Houghton. The sealant is primarily orange and stands, which is super expensive here in Spain. Sealant is so expensive here. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with this. We're going to weigh it in just a second and see how much 2 years of sealant weighs. I think this is actually the first time I've ever done this to a tire. Usually I'm just like, screw it. I'm just going to put in more sealant and not worry about it. All right, Kizard, thanks for hanging out. We're going to bounce. Yeah, I don't know. I still like tubeless, but like I said, I've been experimenting with TPU tubes and have had good luck with the Renaers ones. For a bike that I ride primarily on the road, so the Soma, the Soma one. Which one is that? I'm blanking now. Okay, come on. All right. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Kizard. All right. One thing that's cool is like how amazingly clean and new the inside of the tire is. I wonder if by running tubeless, it doesn't help keep things a little bit moisturized. I don't know. I'm just going to be making stuff up at this point. Okay. So that's what we got here. Just for comparison's sake, this is from the front tire. This is the rear tire. I'm going to toss this stuff first. Got some stragglers on the ground. And let's weigh it. On a level surface. Unstable. Okay, that's clearly not a level surface. I'm going to do it on this table again. Okay. I'll do this. Raise it up. Tar. Okay. Let's do it. Any guesses as to whether this will be more or less than the other tire? Or the same? Okay. Who we got there? Making tacos, yeah. Macau has a hardtail that's currently tubeless switch among other treads. Yeah, I'd agree. Tubeless is a little bit on the messy side, programming guy. Okay, so Sean just weighed one of his TPU tubes for 700 by 55, and it was 45 with a metal valve, so 59 grams. Okay. So I will show you guys what this weighs. And it comes out to 46.9 grams. So I think this is almost like the same weight as the other tire. So at least I'm consistent. So again, if you're just joining us, this is 2 years of dried sealant. I decided to finally take the time to peel it off before I dump in some new sealant. So 2 years of sealant, at least for my use, comes out to about 47 grams. Bono, no, that's just one tire. So total would be about 100 grams of dried sealant for both tires for 2 years, which, you know, isn't too bad. Like this was, I forget what this weighed. It was close. Okay. I should give you guys a quick tour of what I've got on the Sklar at the moment. So Sklar, super something. These are the Grotac equal friction shifting levers. So this shifts into easier gear, and then the thummies go into a harder gear. I've just put in the Sato Carbon Adventure fork, and this has the WizardWorks light mount. Q's rear derailleur, Microshift front derailleur. This is a Dixna LeCrank from Alex Cycles in Japan, 4026, Paul Seat Post, Adventure Max, all the good stuff. Silka tie cages. Yeah. So that's what I pulled all that sealant off of. Okay. Let's see. Cool. Well, I think I'm going to end it here. Thanks all for hanging out while I do the very tedious task of stripping off old sealant, in case you ever wondered what it looked like or how much weight you were potentially saving or not saving by not removing the sealant. There you go. This is one tire, 2 years worth of sealant. Came off pretty easily, so I'm surprised. But yeah, I know it's a little bit of a weird idea for a live stream, but I had to keep myself entertained while I did that very boring task. And I also wanted to test out this camera setup. Again, this is a DJI Action 5. Audio has been with the wireless mic that's connected to that. I'm assuming it works. There's no volumes there. So let me know if the audio has been decent. But yeah, thanks for joining. Got a bunch more videos en route. Review of the Primos Dame is in the works. And then a first look at the Black Snow EDC Mark II. We might ride out to the coast this week and do some testing of this camera. I might take the cargo bike or the sour bad granny, just depending on the route. So thanks, Macau Jobs. Good seeing you again. Might have to do a coffee outside or coffee inside in the Discord soon. So okay, so lots happening. Thanks all for supporting the channel. We're gonna have a refresh of some stickers. My safety third stickers are gonna come back soon. I love those things. I'll let you guys know when that happens. And as always, keep the supple side down.